by the most optimistic scenarios from the government itself, there's no way they're going to have new nuclear come on stream until about 2021, 2022. So it's just not even an answer.
Thanks for that, Nick Clegg. Thank you so much. That aged amazingly well. Because we could do with some of those nuclear power stations right now, couldn't we? Those power plants could have gotten us out of the hellscape that we're currently in, which is, again, because of government policy. Because that's all it really comes down to. The energy crisis is entirely self-inflicted on us by our own government. They could change it tomorrow if they wanted to. The four main reasons why we are in this situation right now is the sheer and utter refusal to invest and build sufficient nuclear power, a borderline religious and ideological commitment to net zero, refusing to frack short term, and to a lesser extent, sanctioning Russia. 4 reasons. You could change just one of those things and we'd no longer be in an energy crisis. I'd go for scrapping net zero personally, because it's absolutely ludicrous. I don't want to destroy my country for the sake of saving the planet when the major contributors to CC are not doing anything about it, nor do they take it seriously. I also don't want to impoverish the poorest in my society. If you change 2 of those things, then we go back to the good old days of being a somewhat cheap energy country. If you change 3 of those things, we would become an energy powerhouse and we would be able to export energy to Europe and wring the cash in. We would put ourselves in the position where we could be an industrial powerhouse. And that way we'd be able to create real jobs, real opportunity, real investment. Instead of all this wishy-washy government-forced, government-subsidised green industrial revolution that doesn't even exist and isn't going to exist. And it's an even better time to do this right now because you've got countries like Germany who are currently destroying themselves. Taking this stance would be massively beneficial to us, and we could draw some of the manufacturing and investment that would have gone to Germany instead, here to the UK instead. So I would scrap net zero. I would start investing in and building nuclear power stations. I would ensure that they are ran 100% by the British government or British companies and not outsourced to other governments like France or China. And whilst we're building them and waiting for them to be completed, we will frack in the short term. And once the power stations have been built, we fire them up and we phase the fracking out. We phase out all the fossil fuels and all the dirty stuff, and bam! We have reached net zero without committing to net zero. Because nuclear power, and dare I say nuclear fusion once it's ready, they are the working class friendly sources of energy. Because you don't need to worry about specific weather conditions in order for them to work. In fact, the same applies to hydroelectric and tidal. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, you turn it on and it's running. And most importantly, it cannot be rationed. And with the increasing use of smart meters, where all appliances are hooked up to a central device, they are all on inefficient renewables, they are rationable, and they can be switched off remotely.